What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus the one who never knows best, and today I'm bringing you something that's a little bit different to the channel, but it's something that surprisingly a lot of you have been requesting. Although that being said, I guess it's not too surprising considering it's always glaring at you from my background, but today is finally the day that I bring you guys my sneaker collection. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is by no means me trying to brag or flex or show off or anything like that. Ordinarily, I wouldn't even show this, but so many people have just been begging for it that I figured it was finally time I give the people what they want. Now, depending on who you are, this might seem like a lot, this might seem like a little, or this might be normal. To me, this is about normal. But if you're somebody who's not one of my regular subscribers and you're a sneakerhead and you've been in this for a minute, this might not be much to you. You might have 100, 200 pairs and hey, power to you, props, that's what's up. But if you couldn't tell by the shelves on shelves of manga behind me, and the Naruto t-shirt, I'm not a sneakerhead or a fashion channel. And if you're just some sneakerhead who randomly came across the video, the least you can do, your boys, hit that like button because it's free, it don't cost you a thing, and they're really helping me out, you feel me? Oh, and something to keep in mind is that I've owned everything from like Converse and Vans to every Jordan you can think of, and Air Maxes and Adidas, and all the way up to like several pairs of Yeezys and like Louis Vuitton Dons, which I actually wore to my high school graduation. I just said it to say that there's not a whole lot of variety now that I think about it in my collection currently, but it's just a matter of coincidence because I like all different brands and all different shoes. It just so happens that at this point in my life and at this point in my collection, I mostly own Jordans, even though I don't really consider Jordan my favorite brand, despite the Jordan 1 being my favorite sneaker. It just worked out that way. But that, you know what I'm saying, I don't like just Jordans. I just own a lot of them right now. But with all that out of the way, without further ado, let's get into the sneakers. And we might as well go ahead and start things off with what you can already see. And what better way to start this video than with the Red Jordan 1, which is honestly my personal favorite sneaker of all time. Not just my favorite Jordan, not just my favorite Jordan 1, not just my favorite sneaker that I own, my favorite shoe of all time. To me, this is just the greatest sneaker ever made. Also, I'm going to try not to talk too much about each sneaker individually, because if I do, then we'll be here all day. This video is already going to be long enough as it is. But moving on, we've also got the 2013 Shadow Jordan 1, which is honestly probably my first or second most worn shoe in my collection. You might be saying, how does that make any sense? If the Reds are your favorite, how come you've worn the Shadows more? The answer is simple. These go with everything. And of course, what would any Jordan 1 collection be, and what would this holy trinity be without the Royals as well? This is actually the 2017 retro, and I've been through literally dozens of pairs of the 2013 retro. I got my own personal pair on release day, but when this shoe actually released in 2013, I wore a size 9.5. I wear 10.5 of 11 now, so those are long gone, and I've resold many pairs since then. But yeah, 2017 retro, a much better version, much higher quality release than the 2013 anyway, so I'm glad I have these. And honestly, the same probably holds true for the Breds and the Royals, so I should get on that. And your boy had to have the 2015 UNCs as well, or the Dark Powder Blues, or the Carolinas, or whatever you want to call them. I got them, and I've had my pair since release day. And funnily enough, this is a sneaker that I wanted really, really bad when they came out. I got them, and then I didn't wear them for like 2 or 3 years. For like at least 2 or 3 years, they just sat in the box. And I think it was until June 2018 when I went to E3 out in LA that I finally unDS'd the shoe. So yeah, they released in 2015. I won. Yeah, it was almost 3 years. It was like 2.5 years I kept the shoe DS. And it's funny now because when these dropped, you know, they sold out, you know, but they were pretty obtainable, but they weren't really reselling for much. And slowly but surely, the price on these bad boys has gone up. And ever since Virgil dropped the off-white UNCs, ever since Nike dropped that collab, the price on these has gone up quite a bit. And now if you want a DS pair in the 10.5, which is my size, you're looking to pay around like $600-700 or something crazy like that. Fortunately, I paid retail for mine. Up next, we have the Turbo Greens, which to me was honestly one of the most underrated Jordan 1 colorways, although I've seen that after about a year or so of these being out, prices on these started to creep up a bit too. You're looking to pay around $400 for a DS pair nowadays, which is crazy because again, this was a shoe that is sold out, but they were selling just $20-40 above retail, kind of fell back down to retail. Now they're like triple the price, which again, I got mine for retail. To me, this is honestly one of the illest non-OG colorways. When I say non-OG, I mean like, you know, Bred, Royal, Chicago, Black Toe. As far as like new colorways they've thrown on a Jordan 1, this is one of the greatest of all time to me. I love the sail out midsole, just like the raw edge on the tongue. That's definitely that Virgil Abloh, that off-white influence. I see y'all not, y'all know what y'all doing. But yeah, this colorway is just so sick. I love the green. The quality of the leather is pretty nice. And all around, it's just a dope shoe. I'm glad to see that this shoe is increasing in value because in my opinion, it deserves it. Very similar story with these. We've also got the Rookie of the Years, which I believe I copped these when I was in New York for Anime NYC with the homies, with the squad. And I'll never forget, actually, me and Omega, right? These was dropping, and at first we was both gonna cop them. But then, surprisingly, the Zebras also like restocked or re-released or whatever, a retro, or whatever you want to say, the Zebra Yeezys. And so he ended up copping those, and that was his first pair of Yeezys, but I was like, nah, this is, much like the Turbo Greens, one of the sickest colorways they've ever put on a Jordan 1. I gotta have them. And then my boy Afro, shout out Afro Senju, he also picked up a pair after he saw me pull mine out the box. He's like, hold up, them was kinda hard. I don't even rock Jordans, but I kinda need those. So he got them, I got them. And again, a shoe that at first sat, not in stores, but sat around like the retail, the $20 to $40 above retail price point. And now, much like the Turbos, you try to find a DS pair now, you're looking to pay around the $400 price point. Say it with me, I got mine for retail. Now this next pair is the last Jordan 1 that you can see behind me, but it's not the last Jordan 1 in my collection, and I know it's like mad bright because the sneaker's all white. But this one is the most surprising because this is the Yin Yang Jordan 1, and I got these a couple of years back for $40 from a Nike outlet. But you look these up on StockX right now and see how much they're going for. I have no idea what made the value of these go up like that, but hey, $40, I guess I gotta steal. Moving right along, we have another Jordan 1 that I expect to follow pretty much the same path as the Turbo Greens and the Rookies of the Year eventually. It might take a year or two, but again, one of the sickest colorways they ever put on a Jordan 1, the Bloodline. To me, I feel like you can't go wrong with a black, white, and red color scheme on an Air Jordan 1. Now that being said, have they overdone it? Have they oversaturated the market a little bit? Maybe. Give it another year or two. These are gonna double or triple in price. I just know it. I feel it. My pair's still DS. I haven't worn them yet. I got a bad habit of buying shoes and I don't wear them for a couple of years. So these have just been sitting in the box so far. But oh, trust and believe, I'm gonna break my pair out eventually. And when I do, and I'm the only one with a clean pair, I'm like, yeah, y'all shouldn't have slept. All right, we still got just a couple more Jordan 1s before we move on to some other sneakers. But we also have the Court Purple Air Jordan 1, which just released like two and a half weeks ago, something like that. And this sneaker is dope. Obviously, I haven't worn my pair yet or even laced them up. And actually, my lace bag actually fell off the little plastic piece, but whatever, it's just sitting in the box. Yeah, this is a sneaker people are sleeping on right now. Quality isn't anything crazy way, but the colorway is crisp. These are sick. And I think much like a Turbo Green or a Rookie of the Year, you give these another year or two, value on them is gonna go up. But if you want these, don't sleep now because that price is absolutely gonna go up. And we've seen this with pretty much every time they drop a really clean, just solid colorway. Rookie of the Years, Turbo Greens, even the Yin Yangs for some reason, the Obsidians, the Crimson Tints. Those are all really solid colorways that for a minute, they kind of sat in price. Slowly but surely, you give them a year or two, the price goes up. You like these, if you think these are sick, you think, I'll just wait for the price to go down. It's not gonna go down. I think the price on these is only gonna go up. So scoop them up while you can. Anyway, the final Jordan 1 I have in my collection is actually a mid from 2007, 2008. And these have seen some better days. Like I said, they're getting on in the years. But we have the New Love Jordan 1 mid from the Beginning Moments pack. These came in a pack with the mid-top black toes with the black tongue. These actually just retroed in 2017, 18, and I should probably get those because my pair has seen better days. I mean, they still look pretty clean on feet, but this shoe is over 10 years old and it's time for an upgrade. Moving right along into another sneaker that has seen better days, we have my 2008 Countdown Pack Carmine 6s, and I love this sneaker to death. I've worn this sneaker into the ground, and I want to replace them with a fresher pair because I know these retroed in 2014, but I keep hearing that these are supposed to re-release next year and with that Nike on the back and everything, so I'm kind of like, even though I really want a fresh pair of these like now, I might as well wait because if I buy a pair now, I'm just going to want the newer ones when they drop, so I might as well just keep rocking these until I can't be rocked no more, and hope for that re-release. But yeah, what you'll notice about me is I'm a big fan of like OG colorways when it comes to Jordan, so I like a lot of the classics, the black, white, and red colorways, Carmines, anything that's like a bread colorway, black cement colorways and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why the bread is my favorite. Carmine 6 is easily one of my favorite Jordan 6s. And actually, if we reach on over here real quick, we have the black and varsity red Jordan 6, again another classic, although I guess if you really want to get into specifics or semantics or whatever, the real classic is the black and infrared. But I actually prefer this shade of varsity red over the 2014 and 2019 retro that they did for the infrared. And I like this material that they use on these more as well. Now, if I had the 2010 and the 2000s, that'd be a different story. The shade infrared on those is like really, really good to me. But yeah, these are actually still pretty clean. I mean, you know, soles is a little, lemonade looking, but the shoe itself is still super clean. It's still in great condition. And I don't rock these too much, but I should. All right, now this next sneaker is probably the most beat in my collection. I know you can kind of already see him, but we have a pair of true blue 3s from 2011, and I really meant to get the retro, the 2017 or 16 with the red tongue and the Nike Air when they dropped, and I just never got around to it. But they're not going for nothing too crazy, so I'll probably replace it at some point. But yeah, these have definitely seen some better days. But on the other hand, we've got these bad boys right here. Yes sir, a crispy pair of black cement 3s. And actually the black cement 3 was the first sneaker I ever camped outside of a Foot Locker for. Back when they retro to 2011. Granted, this is the most recent retro from 2017 with the Nike Air and all that. It's beautiful. Yeah, I guess it just became one of my favorite pairs of shoes after that. Like, I always liked it, but maybe that experience just made this shoe mean more to me. And so this is one of those classics that I kind of always make sure to keep a crisp pair in the closet. And I think anybody who collects Jordans needs these. I think this is one of those must-haves in any Jordan collection. And speaking of must-haves, we also have the Red 4s from last year and the White Cement 4s from 2016, of course, both with that Nike Air. And again, just two classics. Like I said, I'm a big fan of all the classic colorways. As you've seen, most of the Jordans that I have that aren't a Jordan 1, or honestly, almost all the Jordans that I have that aren't a Jordan 1, is like an OG colorway. They just look the best to me. And even like I'm a big Bulls fan or a big Michael fan, I mean, I'm kind of young, so it's not like I really watched the Bulls play in their prime. By the time I was old enough to watch and experience basketball, MJ was playing for the Wizards, so I don't really know what it is, but just most Jordans just look the best in a black, white, and red color scheme to me. But yeah, the Red 4, White Cement 4, or the Black Cement 4, some people call them, doesn't really matter to me. But these are two of my favorite shoes for sure. I mean, I guess all of these shoes are, because I wouldn't own them if they weren't some of my favorites, but I've never been able to really pick between the Black Cement and the White Cement on which one I like more, because to me they're both just like perfect shoes. These are two shoes that, like, if you collect J's, you gotta have both of these in your collection. And continuing on with another classic, we have the the black and red, playoff, whatever you want to call them, Jordan 11. Because what would any classic Jordan collection be without a pair of these? And this is the retro from last year that I'm actually really surprised I got my hands on. These were easier to get than I expected, because if you collect sneakers, you know Jordan 11s, especially the holiday releases, have been notoriously difficult to get a hold of, no matter how many pairs they produce. But this is one of those classics that comes back every few years and everybody scrambles to try to get them, along with like the Space Jams and the Concords and so on. And I've owned all of those colorways at some point or other, except for the Columbias or the Legend Blues. I never owned those. I've had Cool Grays, Space Jams, Concords, multiple pairs of Breads. Yeah, I've never owned Columbias though. It's funny because the Jordan 11 is not necessarily my style, but it is though. Like, as you can tell, these are still DS. I ain't even unlaced them yet, but I don't know. This is one of those shoes that I like a lot, and I do wear whenever I have a pair. But these are definitely gonna sit in the box for a couple of years probably. And I'm like, you know what? It's about time I busted out those black and red 11s. So, all right, now these next two pairs I think are the last Jordans in my collection, but we have the Jordan 7 Hair and the Jordan 7 Flint from 2006, and this is the 2008 Countdown Pack. I think these came back out like 2014, 15, I don't know, doesn't matter. This is the Countdown Pack pair. But yeah, for sneakers that are over 10 years old, these are both still pretty clean. And this actually is not an OG colorway. I believe these only ever came out in 2006, but I'm just a big fan of like the white and gray. And I like purple a lot. It's like purple, lavender, lilac. Like I rocks with that. It just works so well on this sneaker. And then like the pebbled leather and then like the gray suede, it's just fire. And then the Hair 7. It's funny that I own both of these 7s because neither of these are my favorite Jordan 7, but I mean, I got them for great prices. I paid $60 each for these. So when you get in deals like that, it's hard to turn them down. Although if I had to pick, I think my favorite 7's either the For the Love of the Game 7. I actually prefer the For the Love of the Game because I like the little heart stitching on the side. I think that's fire, but that's just me. For the Love of the Games or the Bordeaux's. And I went through so many pairs of Bordeaux's back in the day that I'm surprised that I don't have a pair right now. But yeah, these are the only Jordan 7s I own. I think these are the last two pairs of J's in the collection, unless I'm forgetting something. All right, now this next shoe is one of the least expensive in my entire collection, but is hands down by far one of my favorites and is one of the hardest sneakers to obtain. And I know it's gonna be hard to believe when you see it, but I'm talking about my Tibetan Red skate highs. First of all, this colorway is fire, right? Second of all, these never released here in the States. I know what you think. Nah, Lotus, they have. No. They've done something similar. But this Tibetan Red colorway, because that's a specific name, Tibetan Red with like the marshmallow outsole, this off-white, they never released here in the States. The way I had to get my pair was, first of all, I saw a picture of these on the internet. I was like, yo, those are sick. I remember going from sneaker group to sneaker group, posting all over Facebook and social media, trying to find out what this colorway was because I couldn't find them. I finally found the name, Tibetan Red. And then the only place I could find them was on eBay. I got them from a seller in London and I bought them for like 80, 90 bucks shipped, and I've loved them ever since, right? Now the problem is, they ain't never made them again or brought them over here. So my pairs, they only gonna last but so long, and they getting pretty worn because I wear this shoe a lot, man. And I don't think I'm ever gonna find another pair of these. But hey, if you're out there, anybody, if you own the Tibetan Red skate high with the marshmallow outsole and a size 11, I will buy them, especially if you somehow have a brand new pair sitting around. Name your price, I need them. That being said, however, they did bring out a colorway called Rumba Red, which looks very similar to this, except it has a white outsole and like the black pinstripe. I don't know how close the color is going to match to these, but I did buy a pair, so those will be on the way soon. And if it's as close to this as I'm hoping it is, I'm probably going to buy a couple pairs of those to keep on ice, because like I said, this is genuinely one of my favorite shoes of all time. It's just, this colorway is just so sick to me, and I can never find them ever again. I search all the time, but I just don't think I'm ever going to find another pair. But those Rumba Reds look anywhere near as good as these do, probably gonna buy a couple pairs. So if you weren't able to tell by the way I fawned all over those skate highs, I'm a pretty big fan of Vans, and the skate high is my favorite model. I've also got a couple other colorways, one of them being these henna boot leather skate highs with like the zipper on the back, which is a pretty nice touch. And yeah, it's like this like dark, deep, like rusty orange or like brown leather jacket. Like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Actually, that's probably the best way to describe it. It's like a brown leather jacket. Yeah, and then you have like these rope laces that kind of remind me of like a pair of Jordan 11s, except like a lot thinner. But yeah, this is a shoe that obviously there's hundreds or thousands of pairs of these out there, but I've never seen any, well, to be fair, those either, but I've never seen anybody else with these, like, ever. And you might be watching this video and be like, hey, I got those too. But yeah, I got my pair from Bloomingdale's a while back. Really dope shoe that I don't wear a whole lot, but they always just feel right whenever I do put them on. Really comfortable, pretty nice quality for a pair of Vans too. But yeah, I've never seen these or the Tibetan Reds on anybody else's foot but my own. Now, while the skate high might be my favorite silhouette from Vans, come on, everybody likes a clean pair of old schools, and these are the vegetable leather tans. And usually like a vegetable leather, like they're supposed to like age and get this patina over time as you wear them, and they absorb oils from your skin, and they get dirtier, and like, you know, kind of they age like good leather, or they would end up looking kind of like those boot leather ones I just showed you. But I don't know if, and I don't think it will happen with these. But even if it doesn't, that's fine, because this colorway is sick enough as it is on its own, and I'll just keep these clean, keep them looking crispy, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know why this is the only pair of old schools I have. I should get a pair of just like the black and white ones and a couple other colorways, because I have other colors of shoes in my rotation. But actually, you know what that reminds me of? I have a pair of black and white skate highs too, just like the regular, you know, classic skate highs that everybody and their mom got. They're somewhere downstairs, and I don't feel like going to find them, but I just have to take my word on that one. And speaking of a black and white shoe that everybody and their mom has in their collection, I just have a pair of low-top Converse Chuck Taylors, because everybody needs a pair of Converse. And these are a little bit different because they have like this little bit of a double tongue going on here, which is just something a little different. I found these at a Marshall's for like 20 bucks some years ago, and I've just been beating them up ever since. But yeah, classic shoe. I think everybody has a pair of these in some colorway, and some cut, some style, somewhere in their closet. And I'm no exception. But with that, that is actually the final shoe in my collection, I think. I might be forgetting something, but I don't think I am. My closet's like kind of cluttered with some boxes right now. I don't feel like digging through everything, but I'm pretty sure that's everything right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. That is my entire sneaker collection. Like I said, y'all have been asking for this for a minute, and by no means was that me trying to brag, flex, or show off. Even though I know some people are going to view it that way, and I don't know how I'm going to title this, but yeah. Now I do actually have some new pickups that are already on the way as of the recording of this video. Some shoes, some clothes, you know what I'm saying? And y'all liked it when I did the Hype Land video. You liked it when I do the manga haul videos. You like the manga collection videos. So hopefully you like this one too. And hopefully you want to see some more clothing and shoe and fashion related content. Because honestly, even though I'm an anime and manga video game guy, the boy like to get fly bars. So I actually would like to do more content like that moving forward. So if y'all gonna support it, I'll keep doing it. So let me know. Anyway, hit this video with a like if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing can happen till you swing the bat. Later.